Right guys, welcome back to the channel. We've got some more My Hero Academia, the strongest hero content for you today, and we're gonna be showing off the boy, the newly resurrected Phoenix from the ashes plus ultra Endeavour.
Go plus ultra! Prominence!
As you would have seen on your screen, go smash that like button, go plus ultra prominence, burn it. I'm excited. Do you know why? Do you know why? Do you know why? I know they buffed him the other day, but we're just gonna have some fun in this video and just show you what Endeavour can do. This isn't gonna be the most, informative video. I mean, it might be, but you're not gonna get the most informative response from me because I'm still learning with this game. I'm also me, by the way. So that we do things, I guess, a little bit different around here. But we're gonna be using the boy. And if you're thinking about summoning for Endeavour after everything that's happened, you can't lose. You know why? Your summons are free. That's one thing. You'll be getting refunded your hero tickets for summoning on his banner. And two, he has been buffed so nicely that he's so worth the get. And if you get him, you essentially get him for free. It's a win-win. You're not losing. You're not losing. So we'll quickly show you his changes if you can't remember them. Excuse me, or don't know what they are. Just to go over what they buffed. They buffed everything. But of course, we'll quickly go through them. They adjusted his passive, the Unstoppable Will. When Endeavor's HP is below 50%, attack bonus will be increased to 4% plus 4%, which is the max skill level. Adjusted Q, which is the Fire Lance. The Lance will now land closer to Endeavour, reducing the time it takes to pick it up and change form. Which, by the way, when it said it lands closer, it pretty much lands next to him. And if that wasn't, already a great change, the time it takes for him to pick it up is so quickly because he pretty much he jumps to it. Like, he doesn't just walk over and pick it, he jumps to it. So literally the time it takes to pick it up is literally minimal because it lands right next to him and he jumps to it and just picks it straight up. It's amazing. Like, like before, in PvP that was a huge problem in the time it took to pick him up because it made you vulnerable, especially with the amount of health you started losing. You need to build up his temperature gauge so you can deal more damage. It was a huge risk. Now it literally lands right next to him. You're taking less damage as well. Also, because the damage you take from when you're hit, your temperature increases has also been decreased only slightly by 1%, but still it adds up. And he literally just jumps to it and picks it straight up. Like, it's amazing. And then, of course, we got the adjustment to the W, which is consuming flame. Endeavour will gain hyper armor on the releasing blow, increase and resistance against attack. Let's not forget, he also builds defense while doing his W before you go into the lance mode. He also now has, I think he has damage reduction while doing it, potentially, if I remember rightly. And he also has hyper armor upon release, which doesn't leave you vulnerable as soon as you stop doing your W, which is a great way and quick way to build up your temperature gauge as fast as possible to start increasing your damage, which is amazing. Also, they adjusted his E, which is the flash fire, in lance form, which is the flash fire pillar. He now enhanced the enemy pulling effect. It's like there's a magnet. Literally, they just get sucked into this fiery vortex. It's amazing. Adjusted special skill Flame Resurge. When Endeavor's HP is below 50%, gain a shield that is equal to 70% of missing HP. So when you get to 50%, he has a shield anyway that you can regain HP depending on the amount of damage you take, or once it expires or breaks. But if you're below 50% HP, the shield will increase to 70% of missing HP and you just take no damage. And then you gain health back for the amount of damage you take. So when you're playing PvP, literally your best bet, your best strategy is to run away from Endeavour. But guess what? If you're using Endeavour, you're going nowhere. Because if you're in the lance mode and you use his W, he literally lunges forward. He closes the gap. So you're going nowhere. Not to mention you have the pulling effect on both his W without the lance mode and his Q on the flash fire pillar. You're going nowhere. It's pretty much, do you die now or do you die later? Pick. They've buffed him so nicely and amazing. Optimized Endeavor's auto battle AI, which they have before, they literally, the AI, it's like the AI don't know how to use any of the characters in the game. And you literally watched Endeavour kill himself while taking all the damage from the rest of the characters. It was stupid. Fixed an issue, Endeavour was losing 2% HP per second instead of 1%. I know it's not the biggest change, but any little helps to keep him alive longer. And fixed an issue where passive skill True Color wouldn't activate under certain conditions. I never personally noticed that, or maybe just I didn't pick it up, but it's a welcome change. I mean, one thing you'll notice upon Endeavour with all of his skills is it is damage upon damage. That's mainly what he does. It's damage upon damage. Like, he just does so much continuous damage. And it's so good. We also have the support card as well. So PvE, that's going to kick in, which means Endeavour additionally inflicts true damage equal to the lost HP ratio, which is 80% attack every time he uses the lance. That's even more damage while using the lance skill. Which, guess what? It's damage upon damage. It's amazing. Who doesn't want more damage? It's so good. And if we go back to his skills as well, let's not forget the other parts. Of course, we got the timely calling, which is the reduction. This hasn't been touched for the HP restoration, of course, because they wanted him to be a different unit on the global version of the game compared to CN in Taiwan. They've made him a whole different beast. Like, he's now amazing in PvE again for all the different reasons, and he's very good in PvP now as well. Of course, Unstoppable Will is what's got changed. I kind of wanted like a screenshot of the old stats compared to the new stats in actual numbers. And I know that's dependent on where you have the unit. Of course, these stats only apply, and of course, also your talent also apply in PvE. PvP takes into consideration no buffs from how much you've leveled up a character, buffed their skills, and how much talent you've put into a character and buff those up. So obviously in PvP this won't matter, but in general, I kind of wish I had a side-by-side comparison, but we roll. So Endeavour gains 2% plus 15% attack bonus for every 10% missing of HP, which is just, again, damage upon damage. When Endeavour's HP drops below 50%, attack bonus increases to 4% plus 3% for every 10% of missing HP. So literally getting 50% or below HP is worth it, because not only can you get increased damage with his Unstoppable Will passive, and not only is he getting an attack bonus anyway for every 10% missing HP, he then gets a bonus attack bonus of 4% plus 3% for every 10% of missing HP when you're 50% and below. And then that's when you can kick in the shield, where you're taking next to no damage. And if you're taking damage while your shield is activated, you're gonna gain that back in HP. And you just keep doing that for as long as your Endeavour's alive. It's amazing. It's honestly amazing. Of course, you've got the Fire Lance, which again you can see the damage. Of course, the other effects is it's on the ground for 5 seconds before disappearing, which doesn't matter because you can just pick it up like that. And then, of course, we've got Lance Retrieval, and Endeavour gains 5% defense and recovers 1% of max HP value per second and cannot be interrupted by attacks and control effects. That means you can pick it up, no problem. You're not going to be stopped by picking it up. And then we got Lance Retrieval. Endeavour rushes forth to retrieve it. He literally, it's like he teleports. He rushes. Definitely rushes. Pulling out deals 160% plus 1,235 damage to nearby enemies when in Lance status. And then the Lance becomes Exploding Lance, which there's the damage for that. I mean, instead of me rambling on, I mean, if you want to look at these in detail, you can just pause the video. I'll click on them. You can read them and pause it, at your own leisure. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit of a longer video, and plus, you don't want to hear me rambling on. So I'll leave these for you to pause if you want to read them. As I kind of wish I had a side-by-side comparison of exactly what these skills did before in terms of numbers and what they do now. Of course, that's specific to, again, how much you've leveled up a unit, if you leveled up the skills, and then, of course, you've got the talent as well, which obviously doesn't apply to PvP, but again, his talent does the same thing as his skills. It's just extra damage upon extra damage half the time. This one, it increases defense for 5 seconds. We've got this one here, which damage of his lance combo to increase to 16%. This one, Consuming Flame, Piercing Lance increased by 6%. That's on top of the damage he's already doing. That's on top of the support card we also have, which I know that's specific to the Lance. And of course, we've got this. Increases damage. This one, I think, is defense, right? No damage of the Crackling combo, which is his normal basic combo. This also increases damage of the Exploding Lance. This one, I think, is quite cool. After using the Q, Exploding Lance recovers health longer by 2.5%. Quite annoying. I wish I got him to SS, because I learned yesterday that you can do everyone's short path start one of the long ones on the first node like this, for example, and then that's it, and then complete one of the long ones. But I want both of his long ones completed, and I don't think you can't do that unless you have the unit SS, which unfortunately we don't. I really wish we did, because then we could have a 30% chance of becoming invincible for 1.5 seconds in PvE, and then we can also, upon lance retrieval, his crit rate would increase to 12% for 15 seconds, which is insane. Like, this is pretty cool. Like, there's an area of scorched earth, as they call it, where if you're in that area, you take 35% attack damage every 0.5 seconds. But that's, of course, if they're in the area. So I really want these two, but I'd need him to be SS, which unfortunately we didn't manage to pull 2 copies of him. We didn't manage to pull an extra one at all, but it is what it is. It was a win-win situation. But if you're thinking about pulling for him, pull for him. If you'll think about it, unless you want your pity saved to potentially guarantee you a pull on Shigaraki, Stain, or potentially Derby in the future, I mean, that's fine. Do you? At the end of the day, it's your hero tickets, hero coins. But it's a win-win if you summon regardless. Like, you can summon extra, get all that refunded, build your pity back up. It's a win-win, and he's an amazing unit. So, I mean, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you the best of both worlds. Of course, there is of course a joint operation, assessments, night ops. I mean, that's PvE just like this, but of course, if we control him, we're gonna go into the co-op, which is one of the main ones. Before, if you used Endeavour in co-op, you literally was going on a suicide mission. He would die so quickly because the AI just wouldn't function properly. They literally would, start taking the damage for his temperature gauge essentially filling, and then they would be taking more damage from the obviously the AI attacking him, and they just wouldn't use the shield properly. And then yeah, it was basically you were sending him on a suicide mission. Sometimes the AI wouldn't be smart enough to go pick up his lance, which is one of the main parts of his kit. But we're gonna take up this guy at the top because we want to jump some levels. Um, oh, you wanna bulk up? We're just gonna leave it like this. Even if we lose, you can still see what Endeavour does. Like, I'm still learning in this game as well. So in terms of what's the best setup, and I know some decent characters to use in co-op. In terms of like the best setup, the best lineup to go for, the best formation, shall I say? I haven't got all that stuff down, but I kind of just run my strongest units. I do kind of pick up on a few things of who to use where, but Endeavour is the guy to use in co-op now as well, because especially if you're building them up as well in terms of the talent, and focusing on training him up. He's still very very good. Like, he's in the fight so much longer, and then as you would have seen from his skills, he does so much damage. And if the AI start clumping together, doing the flash fire pillar, it's amazing because if they're clumping together, obviously it has that pull effect, so it just sucks them in, and then you just hit like 2-3 characters of all that damage. And of course, when you hit the shield, the AI aren't smart enough not to attack him. So it means they're constantly hitting him while the shield's activated, which means he's not taking hardly any damage at all. And then he builds all his health back up, or majority of his health back up after the shield's broken or expires. Because as I said, the AI aren't smart enough to not attack him while the shield's activated. So that means he's in the fight even longer, which gives you more chance of a winning, of course, because you don't need to bring one of your backup characters out. Like, I know this is a very close fight, but while I'm rambling, look how much health he still has, and the fight is literally near the end. It's perfect when that happens, when they're all around him, because it just sucks them in and you're hitting all 3 characters with so much damage. He's so good. Like, look at the rest of the characters. All Might and Deku both dead. Uraraka dead. Kirishima, comes in fresh. His idea is to, hit from range a lot of the time. Endeavour is the only character from the first set of the formation that is still alive. And this is one thing, if you have Endeavour in the co-op now, in PvE, a lot of the time he's still good. He's going to be your MVP at the end. This is like the 6th time in the last day and a half he's got my MVP. He does so much damage, and he survives most of the fight because of his shield and the health he regains, because the AI are constantly hitting him. Because I said they're not smart enough to not hit him, which means you're getting free health regen when he uses his shield. That he is literally lasting the entire fight and being your MVP 9 times out of 10. He's so much better now. Like, I know I could take you through, like, oh, here's. I mean, we got a rank up we could do. I mean, we obviously want it to be a fair fight. We could take this guy on. Oh, he's got Endeavour and All Might. We could possibly lose that, and I want the rank up. I've been waiting for this for like 3 days, but every time I get the rank up, I've run out of tries. So, nice. The target changed. We can take on this guy, Momo and Tokiyami. Who cares? We've got Endeavour. Watch me lose this. I mean, it doesn't matter if we lose. It's just to show you how much damage and how good he is in PvE. As I said, with me, you're not going to get intricate, in-depth analysis of this is this damage calculated and this and this and that. Like I said, I know some things. I remember some things. But I try. I don't know everything. I don't know everything in such intricate detail. So you're not going to get an out-and-out analysis. Plus, you can just see what he can do, which is the best part, is a visual representation of what Endeavour can do in PvE. And I mean, you're seeing it. You saw it in the last battle, you're seeing it now. Even with Momo and Tokiyami, who are very OP characters, especially in PvE. Of course, Momo's got the turrets that she can set up. Um, she's also got that shield move, which I don't think she takes damage while doing that, even you can't knock her out of it. Tokiyami does so much damage, and he's very good in PvE. Some of the skills he has, I don't know exactly what they do, but I know he's very good. Look at the domination. Look at it. Look at it. All Might is dead. Endeavour is still going. That's why he's the #1 hero. As I said, in terms of me, you're not going to get intricate like details in terms of this is his damage output. I mean, you've seen the damage output on the skills. You're literally looking at how much damage he's outputting now yourself. And again, look, MVP. Back-to-back MVPs. He is non-stop my MVP now. These buffs, man, they made him so good. We don't care about that right now. They've made him so good. I said, I know you're not gonna get like the most informative video on like what he can do, because that's just me. Like I'm still learning. Also, I should probably read more in terms of what characters can do. And maybe research a little, but that's just me. I'm also gonna show you PvP stuff now as well, which of course doesn't take into consideration support cards, doesn't take into consideration how far you load up your characters, doesn't take into consideration how much you've leveled up their skills, and also doesn't take into consideration how we might lose this. To be fair, 230 victories, we may lose this, but also doesn't take into consideration, of course, his what's it called? The talent. That's the one. Doesn't take into consideration the talent either, which it's just purely the character at his best, and then the skill you can do. Look at that. His W in the lance mode is so good. It makes up like so much damage. This guy's got All Might, of course. All Might is broken, and he's got a lot of victories in PvP. We're gonna use our shield right now. Flash pillar. Damn. Okay. Got the health back. I mean, yeah. This I don't play too much PvP. I got to be honest. So this guy's probably gonna beat me, which isn't the best showing of Endeavour. I mean, that's one thing I forgot to mention is, I'm not the greatest at PvP. So, yes, there we go. So it's not going to look too great. Of course, we did lose that one, but when it comes to PvP, a unit could be good, but there's only so far they can, take you. 23 victories, so this might be a little bit more of an even game. I said I don't play too much PvP. I'm being completely honest. I'm always just trying to grind stuff on the game rather than actually play PvP. But there you go. You see that sucking that they have. That sounded a bit wrong. You see that kind of pull effect that has. We should have dashed forward. That way I could have caught him. We're gonna throw that. Of course, the lance also pins as well. You didn't know that if you throw the lance and actually catches someone, it will pin them to the ground for a few seconds. But that's what I'm talking about with the Endeavor's W while he has the lance out. That lunge makes up so much ground. But yeah, there's only so much a good character can take you in PvP. Other than that, it's all down to skill. I don't play that much PvP. I should probably play more and practice. So that is on me. And so yeah, I mean, it doesn't help when you're trying to show a unit off. But as I said, there's only so far a unit can take you in PvP. I should probably try and get better and probably play some more PvP if I'm honest. But as you'll notice now, a bit more of an even matchup in terms of victories and probably how much this guy also plays PvP. So yeah, it's a bit more of a fair matchup. It's at the moment Endeavour is just wiping. We've got the shield on right now. We've got some health recovery. Guy is kind of beating me up with Bakugo right now. As you can see, Endeavour's just not a glass cannon anymore. He's not a glass cannon anymore. Where you going, son? Come back. Bang, restart. Combo goes again. Activate the shield. I don't know why I did that. That was stupid. Close the gap again. We go again. bang. I don't even need the ult. I was trying to chain it in, but I don't think I'll kill him there. But I mean, yeah, I mean, you can see there, bit more of an even matchup. Endeavour wipes the whole team. I didn't need to call in All Might or Kirishima. Wipes all three characters. He's just so good. He does so much damage. Of course, you've got that shield that makes up the HP. That means if they attack you, you know, you're going to be recovering a lot of health back unless they choose not to attack you, which means you're just getting free reign on them. When you're in that lance mode, when you use his W, he makes up so much ground, and it also helps for restarting combos. And when you finish the normal combo off while you're in the lance mode, you can use his E, which pulls him back in. I mean, yeah, he's so good. He just does so much damage. And as I said, that shield with the health recovery is really nice. And then not only that, having, if you're below 50% HP and you use the shield, you have 70%, a shield that is worth 70% of missing HP, which means you're taking next to no damage as long as the shield is active. This buff was so good for him. So good for him. I mean, you saw him in PvE with the co-op of how he works. His AI is much better now. Also, he ends up dominating and lasting he's one of the long-lasting characters. Like, he doesn't die half the time. Unless, of course, the guy's setup's very good, more BP, take into those things into consideration. I mean, you literally saw it there. In both PvE matches, because we also had the bonus one for me ranking up. Like, he didn't die because of his shield and his health regen and the AI constantly attacking him because they're not smart enough not to attack him. I mean, you're building HP up, and Endeavor's going to be there until potentially the end, and a lot of the time will be your MVP character, and he just does so much damage. A lot of AoE attacks, which means, you got the magnet effects on his W, and then you got the magnet effect when you're in the lance mode and use the E, and then because of the magnet effect and the AI bunching up, you suck them in, you hit them all at once, you do so much damage anyway, and on top of that, you're doing more damage because you're hitting 2 to 3 characters at once. Oh, it's just so good. It's so good. I mean, as I said, you're not going to get the most informative videos to me because I don't know everything in this game. I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to, get better at PvP. As I said, I should probably play more because I don't play PvP enough. But I mean, you can see it there as a visual representation of how good he is in PvE now. Before, he was terrible. He was just a glass cannon. It was a suicide mission sending Endeavour in there. You might as well have not used him. Now he's one of the best PvE characters you can use in like co-op. Even in PvP, when it was a bit more of an even matchup, we wiped. We wiped. The guy had no chance. We were constantly on him and just doing all that damage. I mean, yeah. So there you go. Why you don't get the most informative videos out of me in terms of, statistics and numbers. We showed you the numbers on his skills before, of course, we started playing, and how much damage he can do and where I've got him in terms of PvE, sorry. And when it comes to PvP, it's just about how good you are at the game. And I mean, again, when it was a more even matchup, you saw what Endeavour could do. So yeah, if you're still thinking about something for him, definitely go for it. Because again, the summons are free. You're going to be refunded all your coins and all your tickets back after you're done anyway. So even if you don't pull him, and if you do, it's a win-win regardless. So yeah, there's Endeavour. I'm glad they buffed my boy. He's so good now. Let me know what you think of him down in the comments. I mean, if you've got any tips in terms of PvP and things I should know in the game, let me know down in the comments. I'm always eager to learn, especially with how much I play this game. I should probably know more. But yeah, all that would be very much appreciated. If you have enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new around here, turn up and to get notified when I drop new videos. And as always, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.